You know, there's a time and a place where I find myself really stuck in certain aspects of whether it be the design process, the flow of content, or just overall stuck in my own head in a sense. And really it came from a weird place, I would say. Now, a lot of y'all have already seen for yourselves, like, I'm in a I've been in a transitional period for about 3 months now. I've settled in my new place. Things are good, got a good job, pays the bills, beggars can't be choosers in a situation like that. And it really is where I want to stand out at, but at the same given token, I find myself at a crossroads in a sense. Like, I've always thought about rebranding, the whole situation, the whole YouTube channel as a whole. And obviously I did do that. There's no denying any of that. I did go from BOC Records to BOC Productions. But I find myself rather infatuated with the name Vacant World. And it definitely has been, it stands out. And it's not because, I have no other ideas to use or the fixation of it. I would say it is my fixation on it, because just the idea where it came from as a whole, it really, I don't know. Like, it just sticks out, It just really sticks out to a point of where I actually like the name so well that I'm really considering renaming the channel again. And I'm just very enamored with it. Like, and I know it's a lot of people that are like, probably like, what the fuck is Vacant World? What is that? So just to give you guys the shortest concept of it all, right? Because really, it's from a perspective of both spirituality, religion, and realism, right? The term vacant is an umbrella term. I consider it an umbrella term, because when you actually spell the word, it's spelled VACANT, right? And in my case, it's VAKANT. So one day, I lied to you not, I had this I just felt some type of emptiness in me. And this was some years ago. I just felt like an overwhelming feeling of just emotion that I genuinely had not explored. It just came out of nowhere, right? And I remember this day like it was yesterday. I literally I just came back from seeing my son. I had never came up with anything. I was in a rut, stuck in my ways. So I went outside, stayed outside for a while. And as I'm down at the waterfront near my grandparents' old house, all I remember is just looking out to the water and just saying, damn, what a vacant world we live in. Because really where it came from is that there are so many things that make people hate each other or not like something about each other. And in a spiritual aspect, there's rarely a gray area. Even in real life, there's rarely a gray area of influence that encourages people to be on the same side.
Wake up to reality.
And in my head, because even my mother's always told me, like, the way you speak, the way you act, the way you carry yourself, you attract people with problems. And that's not a bad thing. It can be and it can't be. And like I said, it sometimes is and sometimes not. You attract people that are afraid to open up. But you also give them someone that can rely on and feel unjudged by the whole idea. And that's where it is. That's where my headspace is at. To me, in my world, my perspective of spirituality and religion, being raised Catholic but then converting to Christianity, and then learning the tools and the regiments of spirituality through other people, there's levels to avoidance and aspiration. What I aspire to be is to give people a place where you can feel free to speak how you want and no fear of judgment. Like the Bible says, when we die, we will not miss our old lives. We will all have a mansion. We will all have a major feast when the final days come. How that registers on the spiritual side is that in the last days, mankind will really finally be on the same page. Really be on the same page. And I think the option of being vacant in both the literal and emotional sense has been a game changer for me, because I stopped letting my temper guide me. I stopped letting my emotions cloud my inner thoughts. I stopped letting unchecked emotions claw their way to the surface and then cause a problem for me. And mind you, I learned all of that while I was locked up. And it's okay, because really, we do live in a vacant world. We do. Because there's the world we live in is so devoid of equality, devoid of hate, devoid of love, devoid of peace. This world itself is vacant. But the problem with the word vacant is that occupancy can fill it. And the only way to occupy vacancy is to fill it. Fill the world with love. Fill the world with emotion. Stop being on opposite sides. Stand together. Fight together. Die together. Because I tell some of my niggas from the hood, nigga, we beef over blocks, but we all end up at the same cemetery. And I told a homie that just yesterday, and that man actually started crying, because he looked at me, he was like, nigga, that was the hardest shit you could have ever said. And I watched a lot of people leave this earth before me, friends and family. And there's such a level of diluted emotion towards it that I tell everybody, I'm gonna see you on the other side before I shut my eyes for the last time. Just like they did before me. So honestly, it's really just an idea, and perhaps I need to genuinely explore that a little more. You know? I feel like I should explore that a little more. But I digress. You know,
Wake up to reality.
I don't want anyone to feel the way I myself and have seen others feel. I don't want anyone to feel that way. And that's the God's honest truth. But neither here nor there. Never be afraid. You know, I'm aware of what lies. I'm aware of what lies beyond the stars. You know, and it's best to always be prepared. And to me, the artistic inspiration from the term vacant world, it showed me quite a lot. And I'm very appreciative of that.